like to drive my Mercedes. I like to impress the ladies.
I'm pretty sure that he refers to all ladies as chicks. So let's try that one over again. I love to impress the chicks. I'm Dee Dee Ramone, and I got a dick. The end, everybody. That's all we have.
I knew you were going in that direction.
That was, I mean, what else? What else are you going to do? There we are. Here we are.
You gotta make it big, gotta take your shot. Here we are now on Make It Stop.
Yep.
Hot freestyle.
Hot freestyle coming at you live from the Make It Stop remote studio here at the Somerville Media Center in my office in the back room where we belong.
In the lab.
In the lab. We're cooking up something new for you. Grinding. Out here grinding. It's another week of the show, Make It Stop, that we host. I'm one of the hosts. I'm Heather Mack.
I'm Mike Dunn.
And we do this thing where we listen to the worst albums of all time and we review them song by song.
Y'all know this.
You don't have to.
You know what we forgot to say, Heather?
I was trying to do a roundabout way of us doing the tagline,
well,
which
I'm calling you out for being too slow on the draw.
Come on. Come on. One step at a time.
All right.
Bad music. Good times. There you go. That's our tagline.
There we go.
So we are here today with a very, very, very special friend of ours. You know her from the band WIMP. All caps lock, so you have to say it like that.
WIMP!
WIMP! And also, she's going to be in my AFI cover band with me. So
I still need to get the jazz bass for that.
Are you calling your AFI cover band Murderous Filigree?
Oh, my God. Stop it. No, that's my new burlesque name.
No, we need to call it Rolling Balls.
Oh, yes. I was thinking gay FI, but I mean, maybe that's too obvious.
Actually, I like that one.
I forgot to actually introduce her. Her name is Hayley
Yo, what's
Valencia.
up?
She's
I'm
here. She's Hayley. She's Hayley.
Now you know who I am.
Now that we know, let's say it again. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm giving too much of a cadence there. We need to slow it down, and we need just an arthritic, just staccato, with several too many syllables, and that would replicate a good 50% of the songs on the album that we're going to be reviewing today.
Her name is Hayley. I have to take a pee.
Yeah, and they just kept it in. That's how I feel about so many of the lines on this album. It was just kind of like, okay, here we are, and I'm saying a thing, and I just keep going. I guess that's the take.
Yeah, a lot of them don't rhyme. So wait, have we said what we're doing?
Okay, no, we haven't. And honestly, it could be a lot of bad things. We've listened to a lot of bad music on this show, and hey. This one's no different. We're not throwing any curveballs to you. This was actually, Hayley, it was your fucking idea, God damn it, to do this album. So why don't you introduce it? You tell us what we're going to be experiencing.
We are going to do a deep dive exploration of the failed hip-hop career of Dee Dee Ramone, Dee Dee King's Standing in the Spotlight.
Yes, that's correct.
The one and only Dee Dee King album.
Yep, that's it.
Came and went.
He was like, well, I got this great idea.
It was one too many.
As fleeting as a heroin
sobriety.
Yeah, as fleeting as any of his forays into sobriety.
Yeah, the jury is out the door on whether or not if he was sober enough when he made the decision, hey, let's make a rap album.
I mean, so I guess I've never struggled with a serious harrowing addiction to like a, opiate or anything like that. So I really can't comment. But like, would this be like, if you're like newly sober and like, you know what, everything's a great idea. You know what I mean? Like, do you get that? Like, do you get high on life or something? Or was it just that everybody was like way too afraid to like, you know, like say, sorry, dude, like this really isn't working out. It's like, at least you got a positive outlet, Dee Dee King, I suppose.
I read a couple articles about it, and it seems like the deal was like, you know, things were kind of falling apart with the Ramones. And Dee Dee can't sing.
Well, it's amazing how far he went in his career without ever developing a glottal stop, which is like the ability to make sounds in the back of your throat. It's a little linguistics term for you. Just dropping in that.
Someone took that class.
I did. No, it's what separates us from babies and like primates is like that glottal stop where you can actually like make a sound.
So he
can't.
Basically an infant.
Yep.
But no, he can't sing, and he had gotten really into rap. He had started coming to Ramones shows in full rap regalia, which Joey hated. Like he would come.
Oh my God!
And this was when full rap regalia meant like, you know,
a giant chain and the fucking Kangol hat and
no,
stuff.
No, not the Kangol hat. Like the hats they're all wearing on the cover of the album, like the Run DMC fedoras.
Yeah.
I love the album art of this. He looks like me looking in the mirror when I'm having a good day. He's just like the look back, like with the blunt in his mouth. He's like, "What's up?" to myself.
Yeah, I mean, this was his album being like, all right, I need something to do.
Yeah,
I'm out of rehab.
Busy.
Yeah, I can't do crochet. So he decided I'm going to reinvent myself as a rap artist, like in the most half-assed, totally lazy phoned in way possible. Maybe just like crochet or something, dude. Maybe do some like fucking collage work. You don't have to be a rapper to keep your hands busy. Dee Dee.
All I know the story is the reason why he got into it is because he went to the hospital and then someone there, he was checking in. His actual name is Dougie. So someone was like, "Oh, Dougie? Like Dougie Fresh?" Then Dee Dee was just...
That's it? That's it?
That's it. And he was like...
That's the story.
"Who is Dougie Fresh?" "He's a rapper." "What's rap?" And then someone explained rap to him in the hospital, and then he left the hospital thinking he could be a rapper.
Oh my God, so he had a religious experience.
He learned about what rap is in the throes of detox, and this is what came from that.
Oh no. Well, friends and country people out there, it's just as bad as what we have just described, as what you would imagine it would be. It is mercifully at least only 10 tracks and about 30 minutes long. That's kind of the Ramones' MO, was like wham bam, kind of bang out a song in like less than 2 minutes. Unfortunately, this album has several songs that go on way over 2 minutes. A couple. It's too much. So Dee Dee created this persona of Dee Dee King. Didn't even really think much beyond like, I'm MC Dee Dee. No, Dee Dee King. He had recorded, as you said, the Funky Man as Dee Dee King in 1987. And Hayley, you were saying that was your favorite.
That's my favorite Dee Dee King track, and it's not even on this album.
What?
So it's all the worst parts.
Great. It's nice. Music critic Matt Carlson. Who's this guy? I don't know. But
it's Matt Carlson. What do you mean?
Oh, my boy.
No, I don't know
Matt Carlson wrote that the album, quote, will go down in the annals. No, I don't know.
The banals of history?
The banals. The annals. How do I pronounce it?
Annals.
Annals of pop culture as one of the worst recordings of all time. Now, there's a lot of albums on this show that, have that moniker. We were just saying that one of the last ones we reviewed, the Kid Cudi Speedin' Bullet to Heaven, is one of the lowest rated albums on our list.
Right. It's the lowest of all, like, because we give our scores at the end of the show, and I did the math on all the episodes.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And we gave Speedin' Bullet to Heaven the lowest score of any of the albums we've done, other than Broken Side.
Oh.
Which is, like, beyond the
and
the
compared
scale.
To the public perception of it, was it also similarly derided by, like, in the Rate Your Music score? I thought that's what you were referring to.
It's
in
the bottom, like, 30.
Does
of
this
radio
album
music.
make it up there? Because I didn't even know about this, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that like Dee Dee and like everybody else involved with this, which includes Debbie Harry of Blondie, that they kind of didn't want anybody to know about it and promptly distance themselves from it. But how did you find out about this album, Hayley? Like, what is your story?
Oh my God, I was drinking with one of my friends, Evan, from Hospital Beds. And
Oh, I know Evan.
yeah, he's a good dude. I was working with him at the time, and we were talking about the Ramones, and he was like, hey, I have something hilarious to show you. And he just put it on. And I was totally mind blown. At the time, I was working at this coffee shop, and I just, because I hated everyone there, except I loved everyone there, but I hated the people running it, just to piss all those people off. They just picked the music, so I put on that album once.
Yes.
And
I just, it warms my heart to think that somebody somewhere is doing that with WIMP in a coffee shop right now.
And like the drummer of WIMP was working there too, so we were like both like blasting it. And then a couple of my friends who were there, like Ramones is one of like their favorite bands. Like Ramones, Beatles are like their two favorites. They heard that album and they like loved it. Like not even like because it was terrible. They just legitimately loved it and started playing it at the coffee shop all the time. Just imagine 7 a.m. You're trying to get a latte. Mashed potato time is on.
I mean, honestly, all times are mashed potato time, so it would be accurate at all times of day. I'd be thrilled at 7:30. You know what? It is mashed potato time.
We don't even serve
now that
mashed
you
potatoes.
So, what else do we need to say about this album? Let's think about this. Yeah, we already mentioned that Dee Dee, he sang poorly, but also wrote the songs.
He had a good ear for melodies and hooks.
Yeah, for
sure. He wrote Rockaway Beach. He wrote Chinese Rock.
Yeah. Other songs with rock in the title.
They're either
rock
about
and
the
roll high
beach
school.
or they're about heroin.
Yeah, well, so that was the thing, is he had been kind of ebbing and flowing, so to speak, on his sobriety and trying to figure out what to do with his life after getting out of rehab, and decided that this was the move to make. Time to rap about mashed potatoes with Debbie Harry.
So I think he's referring to doing the mashed potato, which was a popular move in the 50s.
We'll discuss it when we get into that song, which is the first song.
The first song. But the whole thing, like, it's weird that he chose to mash up his stilted conception of rap with 50s doo-wop and like
like
rock
surf
and roll
rock
music.
and
And I feel like all the hip hop kids who are like, this was, intended to be marketed to, just went all over their heads. They're like, what is the mashed potato? Like, we're talking about the food?
Over their heads implies that this is some sort of highbrow fucking like humor. No.
I don't think there's any references
so under their heads.
Yeah, this is, that's on, yeah, absolutely. Exactly. It's like a kiddie pool when you're trying to go surfing. surfing. Yeah, there's a lot of it. It is definitely an album in need of it's an identity crisis of an album for a lot of reasons. And you'll hear it. Not the least of which being the fact that there's like 17 different poorly imitated genres represented on this album. But should we get into it? Is there anything else contextually that we need to know about Dee Dee Ramone, 1989, standing in the spotlight. So let's get on into it, I guess.
I think it's mashed potato time.
Oh, now that you mention it, it might be mashed potato time. Hold on one sec.
The mashed potato is in the groove. It's gonna make your body move, make you snap, crackle and pop. I'm the master of hip hop.
Mashed potato.
Monster mash.
He did the mash.
It's the greatest. It was the graveyard smash.
It's the greatest mashed potato.
I was working in the lab late one night. That song is just the Monster Mash.
It is the Monster Mash.
It is a straight up Monster Mash.
I'm pretty sure that's his favorite rapper.
Yeah, it's the song that song
the
made me realize that
Frankenstein from the
That song made me realize the Monster Mash was a rap song.
Yeah.
Wait, this whole time?
Just
Wait,
needed some 808 cowbells
wait,
on it.
did anybody know that Dee Dee Ramone of the Ramones fame was the master of hip hop? It sounds like he's like the master of hip replacement. Like too much surfing. I don't know. I think also like, yeah, the 50s vibe and then the surfy components and then this like terrible like Sugar Hill Gang, you know, in person.
Don't besmirch.
I know. It's terrible. I feel
Don't run their name in the mud.
I know. I know. I don't.
Same sentences. Dee Dee
I
Ramone,
know.
please.
Then it's all combined into this sort of like timelessly terrible composite.
Like I know that in the late '80s, like rap was still a little bit in its, you know, it was beyond its infancy, but it hadn't. Like Eric B. and Rakim had just come out with Paid in Full a couple years before this, and the rest of the rap community hadn't really caught up to that level of flow. But like they were beyond saying, "I'm the man on top. I can rap and hip hop." It's like write more words between those words,
Right,
please.
right. You don't
You know?
need. It's definitely not important enough for all that enunciation, as much enunciation as he can handle. It sounded. I wrote, "This is a Lou Reed impersonator on a cruise ship," like really drunk.
It's just that cadence. It's the Monster Mash cadence, which he does for every song. Da 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 da. It's very Sesame Street by the Numbers.
I'm pretty sure he just talks like that. He like walks up to the store. He's like, "I would like 2 apples." And just his daily,
and then spins on his head and does like a whole like breakdancing interlude.
I'll take 5 Arizona iced teas.
Wait, this is.
He was drinking 5 Arizona iced teas a day at this time, apparently.
Yeah.
You know, that was his new crutch.
Coping mechanism. What was I going to say? Now I'm just sad. Yeah, he used to
Yeah, this music does make me sad.
Yeah, like also this is what's setting the tone. Like this is what we're going into here. This is like
that was the best song on the album. It gets worse from here.
And it is
what?
Chords and tempo and line delivery and everything is just the Monster Mash. This is the Monster Mash.
Such a hot beat, though.
But
such a hot beat.
It's true. And in classic Make It Stop fashion, there is a saxophone solo.
Yeah, that's true.
It would not be an episode of Make It Stop if there wasn't a sax solo.
You knew I wasn't going to bring something to you if it didn't have a saxophone solo. I wouldn't even mention it.
Absolutely not. We wouldn't dream of it. Yeah, I mean, we're not gonna play the saxophone solo for you because you've already heard it. It's every saxophone solo on a.
You heard one saxophone solo. You heard them all.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, this is dumb. Also, like, isn't this one that Debbie Harry is doing backing vocals on?
Yes, she's going.
He did the mash. This is like the. Oh my. You know, the things you do for the people you love, I guess. This is sad. Any other deep insights about the monster? I mean, the mashed potato time.
I don't think
Did
there's
he release
gonna
this
be
as
any
a
deep insights on this episode.
No,
I don't.
that's
There's
true.
everything is very surface level.
Straightforward.
The song is about rapping and doing the mashed potato and nothing else.
And that's it.
It's about that he's the master of rap. He can rap and hip hop.
Hip hop.
That's it.
Hip.
There's nothing.
Hip hop.
There's nothing to talk about. This is going to be a short one, I feel like.
Yeah. All right.
It's bad. We can say it's bad a bunch of times.
Well, it is. So, all right, let's move on. We got the next one
yeah, we
here.
might as well.
Which is Too Much to Drink.
To have a little drink, it might help you to think. It might make a new rap come into your head. Baby doll wouldn't know she's still in bed. Too much to drink. Too much to drink. I'm very fond of Bailey's Irish Cream. Maybe things aren't as bad as they seem. What's to fear? Just one little beer. A Heineken would be fun. And with that...
Heineken? What? Bailey's Irish Cream is what you're shouting out?
That's what you're gonna go back to when you break edge. You're gonna drink some Bailey's.
The rap cadence on this sounds like a Wendy's instructional video from the 90s. Like,
we actually
flip
just
the
watched
burger
that
on the other side.
We just watched that the other day, and those rhymes are actually tight.
No, I mean, I guess
that one. That one's hot.
Yeah,
that one's sizzling.
It is sizzling. It is sizzling. Yeah, like, and you just watch them, like, you're super stoned and just watch them, like, squeezing out those juices, like.
Yeah, just smushing down
them.
the four corners.
I kind of love bad training videos.
Yes.
I just scooped up a job at Guitar Center, so I'm watching a ton of those videos.
Ooh, wait, they have some loss prevention.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of Lionel Richie, like, as a character, just popping in. But my favorite was, like, the first, like,
for Guitar
Wait,
Center?
I'm sorry, go
for
ahead.
Guitar Center, yeah.
Please go on and describe that.
I
need some information about that.
I mean, there's the first video they showed me. It was like an episode of Metalocalypse. It's a safety video. This dude's just like trying to like climb up a ladder, but fucks it up every time, and then just like limbs fall apart, just like just like face melts.
It was like the chemistry video in like science class.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was
like,
sounds metal as fuck.
Yeah, I was like waiting for Facebones to come out and be like, "Assassin again! Don't do that!
Too much to drink."
At work, don't do that."
We're back. Yeah. Well, we'd rather talk about that than pretty much anything else on this album, especially this song. I mean, interestingly, this is the first song that Dee Dee references Baby Doll, which we're going to get into a little bit later, because that was his wife, I think a new wife at that point.
No, they had been together
for a little while. Okay.
Soon to be ex-wife.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so you can kind of hear the desperation and also like the, increasing tension in their relationship over the course of the album. This is like, okay, Baby Doll drinks too much and ends up a mess and loves, right? Isn't that what?
No, that's a later song.
Yeah, no.
This one is I think actually is like it's like The Shining.
Wait. Okay. Wait a second.
It's the devil. He was working in the lab late one night,
trying to come up with raps.
The devil comes into his head and tells him to drink, and the devil's like, "Baby Doll won't know. She's asleep."
Wait.
And then he starts drinking Bailey's Irish Cream and Heineken, which would be
fun.
And gets drunk. Breaks his sobriety. That's the whole song, but. That is sort of that's how it goes in the Shining. It's the voices in his head, the ghosts of the hotel.
Right. Yeah, he does say that. Yeah.
You just ruined The Shining for me. Every time I see The Shining, I'm just going to think of Dee Dee King.
All work and no play.
Yeah, imagine if it was Dee Dee Ramone
all night
instead
with
of
no
Jack
rhymes
Nicholson.
or heroin. Oh, my God.
I thought you were going to say, like, have, like, Dee Dee King do the soundtrack instead of Wendy Carlos. My favorite trans electronic musician. Shout out.
Just have Dee Dee King break down the door. Here's Johnny.
Yeah. He's definitely...
I'm not going to hurt you, Wendy. I'm just going to bash your brains in.
All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Yeah, what the masterpiece that Jack Torrance was working on was... no more whiskey, no more gin, 'cause one ain't enough and neither is 10.
Yeah, there is a line where he says, as he was getting drunk, I had a good time, everything started to rhyme. And that's how he ends up with rhymes like fun and Heineken.
So that is actually that's actually the problem, is that because he was sober, apparently he can only rhyme when he's chugging Bailey's Irish Cream, which also like only 14-year-old girls are like chugging Bailey's Irish Cream. Trust me.
No, you're just
been there.
You're just asking for a milky puke.
Ew, just a syrupy, like fucking coagulated
Curdled.
ooze. Oh God!
It's bubbles
It's like when
coming
you
out your
can't.
nose.
Well, that, and then it's like churning up with the wine coolers. That's smearing off ice.
With a faint, like,
I just
hint
wanted
of
to
Fireball.
watch Degrassi.
I'm really happy you mentioned Baby Doll, though, because she becomes a recurring theme.
Yeah,
she
yeah.
does. And it almost reads like a concept album to me. I mean, not to give Dee Dee King the credit of having a concept.
No, yes.
But, his first track is like, hey, I rap now. This is what I do. And then, like, the next song is like, I'm trying to rap, but it's a lot harder than I think. Now I'm going to get a drink. Baby Doll doesn't know. And then she keeps coming up. His, like, coming to terms with being a rapper. As, like, hard of a realization it is. He's exploring that throughout the rest of the album.
Really
It has a
grappling
plot.
with it. Yeah, but then like there's these little diversions into him being a wrestler and him being a surfer, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But it's true.
There's nuance there.
It's true. There's a lot of. It is the story of his coming into his own as a rapper. It's the story of him coming to grips with being sober, and it's, I think, the story of the deterioration of his relationship with Baby Doll.
Yeah, which that seems like a perfect segue to our next song here, which is the aptly titled Baby Doll.
Baby Doll. I missed it.
That was nice, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah, that song is sweet.
That was sweet.
It's good when he doesn't rap.
That could have been like a modern day, like Weezer song, kind of. That was kind of like we're on holiday and we're going over here. And
But the fact that his best songs aren't really hip-hop songs makes it even a worse hip-hop album.
Yeah.
Right. He has to throw these rock songs, or I guess in this case, like a 50s love ballad sort of deal.
Yeah.
And like, he didn't even have like the juice to write 10 rap songs.
No. There's like kind of like 4 or 5, like 3.5 rap songs, and then he's just like, all right, we're gonna do this, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of sweet, I suppose. Again, the last gasps of his relationship with this woman who, let's not forget, he met when she was 16. So, kind of problematic, to say the least.
There was a lot of that going on in the New York punk scene in the 70s, I think. Unfortunately,
Not
as much as that
excusable, but
scene is
yeah.
lionized.
Yeah, deeply unexcusable.
Richard Hell had a very young girlfriend, 15, I think.
That's like so fucked up.
Yeah.
15-year-olds are children.
Yeah.
Reminder for everyone out there, just to make sure we're all on the same page. Anyway,
Kill your idols.
kill your
He's
idols.
already dead.
Yeah, he's definitely did it himself.
So
this song is 4 minutes and 45 seconds long. Also,
it's fine though. This song is good. I think.
What?
I think this song is good. It gives me like
2
reminds
minutes
me like
too long.
Jonathan Richman. Like his later work, post Modern Lovers, when he was doing like I, Jonathan.
Oh my God, the Postmodern Lovers would be a great name for a
my
band.
Oh my
God. That's
just
great.
figured it out.
All right. You're welcome for that.
Yeah, we're all welcome.
Roadrunner is an electric car now.
I'm driving to the Whole Foods.
The condo over there. Dun, 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 dun. Condo over there.
In Alton, Massachusetts.
Drunk college students crossing the street. Drunk college students crossing the street. I'm in love with Massachusetts.
There's too many condos.
Yeah. Burn the rich. Okay, so
I did notice one line in this song that stuck out to me, and I wonder, like, as we're talking about this sort of being, this song's maybe the prelude to the dissolution of the marriage. He says, "And now you're willing to give me a child on one condition: I stop running wild." Did they ever have a child?
Ooh.
I don't think that they did.
Say no on that one. Well, it's also like he has no subtlety, so everything he says is very direct. And if he's bringing that up,
it's
like,
definitely true. Everything he says is definitely. I mean, aside from him being the master of rap, that's debatable.
Yeah. I believe that he believes it. I don't know. Okay, so he experienced this while in like a fever dream at the hospital, right? Like coming out of coming out of rehab, and was like, "This is rap. I'm a rap star now." Like, imagine that. Like, it's like when some people come out of have like some brain injury and then all of a sudden know another language, but he just like thought he did, you know?
Is that just decompartmentalization? Like,
what
is that the term for it? When your reality just comes apart after like a traumatic event. It could be called something else, but that's, I think, what's going on with Dee Dee.
But I often wonder, listening to this album, like, did he actually ever listen to hip hop?
No.
Yeah, this is like secondhand.
He was automatically great at it.
It sounded like he just like listened to that one song, like, "Don't push me because I'm close to the edge," and it's almost like he's trying to like sprinkle that in.
He should have listened harder.
He should have listened harder. But it sounds like he's trying to sprinkle that in, or does he just talk like that?
It's possible.
It possibly just talks like that.
Right.
They all talked like that somehow. The Ramones, like
they all decided, okay, our last name, we're gonna call ourselves the Ramones. Also, everyone has to talk like a child,
like a Muppet.
We're all in it together, and it. I mean, hey, it's a signature. They did that, so I guess I don't know. It worked out. It worked out for a little while, but certainly not anymore.
It's crazy that he went from the Ramones to this. It's a leap.
Yeah, a leap off a cliff and into an abyss.
I feel like so many of those, like, I'm gonna jump off from my main bands for a solo project, do a completely wild genre change.
Yeah, it's like the narcissism combined with like the mental illness, just always kind of not. I mean, if you go back to like Kid Cudi too, that was another example of like, you should have gone to therapy, but instead you made this album, and now we're suffering through your neuroses.
Yeah, everything I've ever written.
True. Where's the lie?
Yes.
Yeah, same.
But
that's the thing. Our music, it's a little bit more interesting.
It's like a midlife crisis musically.
Yeah. We've dealt with a lot of midlife crisis albums, I feel like.
That's
and we
a
didn't
mood right there.
We didn't do Scream by Chris Cornell, but they did that on Jukebox Zeros.
Yes, shout out to Jukebox Zeros.
And my God, like that's another situation. Like somehow,
someone who is arguably talented, right? Very influential in music, who has addiction problems and mental illness, and Chris Cornell is Dee Dee Ramone, is Eddie Murphy is
the Eddie Murphy album was kind of good.
Yeah.
The more I look back on that episode, the more I feel like I should have given it like gone outside the scale.
Well, everything's
and
relative when we just keep scraping the bottom of the barrel and finding out that there's just still more sludge to go. Where's that bottom? We haven't found it. Yeah, what else is there to say about Baby Doll? I think we've exhausted this one. So should we?
I already forgot we were talking about
it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all did. Okay. So Baby
What's
Doll.
What's the next chapter?
Everything's fine
in this tome. Oh, it's Poor Little Rich Girl.
Yeah, Poor Little Rich Girl.
Running her stocking, a lopsided wig. She laughs to herself and she takes another swig. The story goes on. She couldn't get worse.
rich girl. See, I can't help but sing along to that one.
That's a good song.
That's a good song.
Well, that song is punk.
Yeah. Yeah, and it has that, promising like riff that kind of carries it through, and that predictable Ramones cadence of da na 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 na. That sounds great when it's set to exactly 3 chords, but when it's da da da, how does he actually? Because he manages to keep on beat for all those other songs. How is his rap cadence so off the mark?
Well, I think we've touched on it. I don't think he knows what rap is.
Oh, yeah.
I almost think he's heard about what rap is in rehab. Someone told him about it, but did he ever bother to listen to it after that? Or is this just his, like, what you do when you first, like, if you learn that rap is a thing? Like, if someone was like, it's like
describing an elephant to a blind person or something,
yeah,
and then
they paint it.
Probably someone was just like, yeah, it's like talk singing.
Yeah, right.
But you talk about how great you are.
Well, and what a presumption. Yes, exactly. That's all you do. And what a presumptuous thing to be like, I don't need to do any research. I don't need to learn anything about this. I don't need to participate in this culture meaningfully at all. I can just mine the elements that are convenient to me, and bada bing, bada boom. I'm a rap star, little boy from Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's pretty presumptuous, honestly, to just be like, yeah, I'll do a rap album.
I don't even need to know what rap is.
I'm pretty sure he went to his label and was like, hey, I'm going to put out a rap album before he even
Yeah, and they were all on coke
they were like,
too.
Yeah, they were like, yeah, Dee Dee Ramone doing a rap album on my desk by 5:30 tomorrow.
But actually, the budget for this album was only $25,000 too.
I thought you were gonna say $25, and I was gonna say.
Well, I read an interview with the guys
appropriate.
who made it, and they were like, yeah, I mean the budget was $25,000, but that was like peanuts back then, and there was no today.
They were signing.
Today, they're very careful about how all the money is used, and it's very but back then the money would just be blown on like frivolities and stuff,
frivolities.
In this era of the
word.
record biz. $25,000.
Wait, I'm sorry. 1989 was a year of frivolities. Is that how you pronounce that?
Are you making fun of my diction?
Frivolities.
Look, just because you don't know how to pronounce banal, you gotta come at me for using
banal.
Come on, let me live.
Right.
That's how I talk.
It's a bad little rich girl.
That's fascinating that it was made with that amount of money, because it's still considered to be one of the worst investments in hip hop history.
Yeah.
I don't think it
or
made the
punk
20.
history.
It didn't make the 25,000 back.
No.
I was at a record store right after you asked me to do this a while back, and I found it on the shelf for $50. And I think that was the funniest part about this whole entire album, is that it's a collector's item now.
Oh man.
I mean,
Listen.
yeah, they've probably tried to scrub it from existence, just much like everything else we've talked about.
Yeah,
that's in the
yeah.
ditch with the ET games.
Yeah, nobody's come in to defend that. Well, except for Hesta Prynne from Northern States.
Yeah,
Shout out to Hesta
Prynne
Prynne.
might co-sign this record.
Yeah, Hesta Prynne might think this is great. Hesta Prynne, also a poor little rich girl.
Ooh. Yeah, actually, who's the poor little rich girl in the song? Is this also
is this
about
Baby Doll? I think so. I don't know.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how she's hard drinking and
Yeah, well, that was in the other
loose.
song too. Yeah, yikes.
I couldn't find the lyrics to this song. They're not
I
online.
found it.
Oh, you found them?
Yeah,
Again,
the
record
story
label is
goes
erasing
on.
it from history.
Yeah, or no
right.
one cares enough.
No, definitely.
Both.
The story goes on. She couldn't get worse. This chick keeps a bottle in her purse. Oh, she's a poor little rich girl. Etc. What a waste to her society. Friends, the girl's a disgrace. She's devil may care. She's laissez-faire, an out of control, miserable millionaire. So take some advice from Dee Dee King. Money can't buy you everything. There you go. Hey, can't argue with that.
Dee Dee Ramone grew up fairly affluent too, though, didn't he?
Well, he was an army brat.
Yeah.
He got moved around the world because his dad was in the army. So, and I think that they had lived in Berlin. Actually, I know they had lived in Berlin for some time.
He mentions it in the song.
He, yeah, which I think is the next one. Or no, we still have a few more.
He mentions in
song.
another song that he's the baddest rapper in Whitestone, Queens.
He is the baddest rapper, as in terrible.
He is a
He's definitely the
bad
only
rapper.
rapper in Whitestone Queens. It's a upper middle class neighborhood with a 0.8% African American population. I don't think he has any competition, and I don't know if he has any
just the
right
way
to
he
be
likes
like
it.
Queens as a whole,
talking
though.
shit on a poor little rich girl. I mean, like
Yeah.
he's a poor little rich Dee Dee.
Yeah.
I like this song though.
It is. It's pretty good.
That's the last. That song and the previous song are the two bright points on this album. I think.
Yeah.
And
It's
it's
all
downhill from here.
It does not get better. It in fact gets far worse. So let's take a little dip in the ocean, my friends. Are you ready? You feeling a little hot in here? Time to cool off because there's a commotion in the ocean. Whoa!
Ride the waves. I'm all excited about the surfing craze. I picked a lunch. I hope I find a bunch of fun and clean sand. I wanna get a suntan. Wanna ride the surf at 90 miles an hour. Hope you don't get sour. If you're freezing in New York, then I followed the stork and headed to the coast to do what I love most.
That was like a sunburn for my ears.
These
Oh
lyrics
man.
are so dumb.
Oh, they sure
They're-
are. But hey, it's fucking fun. It's like the Monster Mash again, but this time for surf rock. So
Yeah. After this, like he meets a mermaid and she teaches him how to surf, but then he gets stung by a jellyfish and he's like, "I'm out."
yeah.
He tries to teach her English, but he gets stung by the jellyfish before he even gets a word out.
Yeah, what a pointless saga. And then I met this mermaid, but then I got stung. The end. Bye.
It's so pointless. And then you got lines like, "Hope get sour." Where
Add another word.
At least one other
At least
word.
one other word.
Like, get
Jesus.
a little sour.
yeah, you could have put
Get a
any
little
word
sour.
other than saying "get" a second time.
No, he absolutely was just reciting this like in front of like a fucking Bradley's department store. Just okay. Nope, we're good. That's the first take, and we've got it.
Yeah, I did read that most of
First
these
take,
songs
only take.
Most of these songs were written in about 20 minutes.
That's being generous. I mean, this is like Nantasket Beach, like deadbeat dad band music. Like,
No, this is worse.
no,
I'd
I'm
rather
talking about
see
your
it-
dad that you like. That like, you don't.
I thought you were talking about the band that plays at like that plays at the
It's
trashy
a band.
beach.
It's a dad band, but it's made exclusively out of deadbeat dads.
I just pictured a dad beat band in my head.
Dad beat.
dad beat.
Like Discharge, but it's like all my dad.
Oh my dad.
It's just like a middle-aged accountant with spikes.
Isn't that what Discharge is at this point?
Oh, dads. So yeah, this is no good.
It's dumb and it's kind of funny, just to hear him rambling about this story is like such a Shaggy Dog tale.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like a 3-panel comic.
It's
but
like, yeah, he's gonna
extended
be-
into a 4-minute song for some reason. Not necessary.
He's excited about going surfing. He meets a mermaid. Like, it's got
And
everything.
then, but no, it doesn't, because then
No,
there's
then
the
nothing
ending
else.
is then like, oh, and then he gets bit by a jellyfish, and then the mermaid disappears. That's the end of it.
It's similar, we'll get to the wrestling song later, but it's kind of the same in
yeah,
that.
it's all
like,
this build up with absolutely
doesn't-
no follow through.
He doesn't like to see himself succeed at the end of his
Yeah.
stories. Like, what does that say about him?
Well, we
he's
know
writing
how
these,
the ending of his story went. So
like,
But he
right.
tried. Every song, he tries.
yeah,
Tries his hardest, just like he did for this album.
Oh,
it's
But it
weird.
never was enough.
which was 20 minutes is trying your hardest. That doesn't say a lot.
Yeah, and
That's
most of the songs in this
concerning.
are like pretty stuff from his real life. But then these weird fantasy songs, why is he setting himself up to fail in this? Like, is he just?
I
is
know
this just
you
an
can do
analog for
anything,
his-
Dee Dee.
Is this just showing you where his mind was at with regards to his sobriety? When he was like, even if he was
gonna
fantasizing
fail
about
no
becoming a
matter what.
surfer, he just gives up after he gets stung by a
Wow.
jellyfish.
Wow, that is really sad.
Oh.
Ouch.
This is a sad album.
Yep, it's but it's like masking the emotions with happy surf music. Oh. It's fun. Gonna overdose in a few years.
The hooks are all pretty decent.
Actually, no, he lived a while after this.
Well, he died in 2002. I mean,
yeah,
not
so he had
so
another
decade or so.
Yeah.
But the hooks are good on this album so far, right?
Yeah,
That's
kind of
like
say
a Breeders.
so. Yeah, I mean that's one thing that we all know that Dee Dee Ramone can do and do well. I would say the raps are probably the most atrocious rap I've ever heard.
It's really barely rap.
It's barely rap, but the fact that he like calls himself a hip hop star and like even gets to the point of bragging about being the best rapper of any kind, it's like it's absurd. It's like me saying like I'm the best like fucking like fighter pilot. Like I've never done anything that would prepare me to be a fighter pilot. I have no idea what the job entails.
Yeah.
And
also,
I guarantee I would fail.
But it sounds fun.
Crash
It
and
sounds
burn.
so fun.
It does sound
It does sound fun.
And if I'm a narcissist that also is like needs something to transfer all my energy and passion towards, I guess being a bad rapper is like one of, I don't know, it's a thing you can do.
I would love to see him in like a freestyle rap battle, just like get 8 Mile.
yeah. Go
He
from
could
Whitestone
get
to
8 Miled.
Queensbridge and see what happens.
Yeah. He could. I just see him like rapping like with a starfish, like dancing along the lyrics for this song. Like I just like
like a Disney sing along.
Yeah,
VHS?
this is yes, exactly. It does have a Disney-fied kind of. I mean, there's no like production value, however.
No.
Dissimilarly from Disney, they didn't spend a lot of money on the production. Like I kept saying, like I wish this was processed in any way. Like maybe give him some pitch shifting or some I don't know, or just
that
make him
would be
retake
anti
it, or
the
just
Ramones aesthetic, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but the Ramones aesthetic, at least they could hit the notes and be on beat for the most part.
Yeah. Look, I love the Ramones, but I don't know if that's a wholly accurate statement.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here because it's fun, and everything's going to shit.
I do think
Commotion in the ocean. That sounds like a fucking like Diddy Kong racing level or something. Like,
I think it is a little like the flippancy with which he says he's the best rapper and just the lack of respect that he shows for the art form and any
how much do we feel
like,
bad for him and how much do we feel bad for
ourselves? He just thinks like, oh, being a rapper is just I could just do that in a couple weeks and it's something I can just toss off and write these songs in 20 minutes. And it's like, I don't know, it's bordering like a little too close to like your drunk racist uncle at Thanksgiving, like just coming over and being like,
saying the Irish were slaves too.
I mean, almost.
I would have loved to see him try to do like a disco phase.
Yes. Why did we skip the disco?
No.
Well, yeah.
We heard Elton John's disco phase, and if he can't pull it off, I don't think Dee Dee can pull it off.
Once the scene, only 17.
Every bassist secretly loves disco.
Except she was actually 16, maybe.
Stop it.
All right. Well, moving on.
Yeah.
Let's hear his vaguely autobiographical rap song, German Kid.
German kid standing on the street with 2 cents in my pocket and nothing to eat. Did you ever see a glider soaring in the wind? Bet you didn't know I'm half German. I'm doing rap, not Beethoven. I'm doing rap and I've just begun. Es ist mir egal, was du sagst. Ich mache ein Party jeden Tag. Ich hab immer sehr viel Glück. Dee Dee King ist nicht verrückt.
Yep. When in doubt, just start rapping in another language.
Yeah.
No one will know if you're bad if you rap it in a different language. Clearly. Right? That's how it works, right?
What's the
I would
translated lyrics of that?
Yeah,
That's what I want to know.
I'm wondering if he's like spitting some realness in German. If he's got like the German equivalent of
Has
like
anything-
dead in the middle of little did we know that we were riddled with some middle minutes. You know, like,
Wait.
It's
has-
just as bad.
Wait, has anything in this album given you any indication that could be that he would ever be capable of something like that? What are you talking about?
I just think it would be funny.
It would be hilarious, but this is one of the many songs on this album that like my first note is oh no.
Yeah. That's Debbie Harry on the chorus.
Oh, yikes. It's like all about him growing up in Berlin, and it's like, this is the lamest fucking representation of Berlin.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Berlin is so fucking cool, and this song is so lame. Nobody from Berlin was like, oh man, thank God Dee Dee Ramone is speaking to our experience on German Kid.
Oh, yeah, thank God. For
It's
example, we
weird
like Dee Dee
because
Ramone.
the chorus is just him going like half American, half German, or like how does it go? I don't even know. I'm
American.
Oh my God.
Half German.
How could I have forgotten that instantly iconic sing along there?
I like that. I like the. Once again, it's a good hook. Bad raps.
Oh no, that's a bad hook and bad
Oh,
raps.
hey.
It's not good.
I think me and you
now.
sound just as good as Debbie Harry.
Well, yeah,
Oh my gosh, wait,
we're both
Debbie
musical
Harry,
geniuses.
H-A-I-R-Y, great drag name. Just
I'm
saying.
Debbie, you're Harry.
Oh, I wish we were listening to that. Can we do that now or anything else?
Just do a show about good music?
Yeah.
I think about it sometimes. I think about what that would feel like.
what it would feel like to smile again.
How much would my quality of life improve if I would just do a show about good music instead of only listening to fucking Dee Dee Ramone's rap album and fucking...
We know what the people want, and that's to participate actively in our own torture.
And
So
instead of spending hours just trying to find the worst Prince song I possibly can.
Hey, listen, I bet you listen to a lot of great Prince on your way there, though. So that's always...
I listened to a good amount of mediocre Prince on
Well,
the way there.
there's a lot of
definitely
that, too.
a lot of Prince that's
I mean,
definitely
that's
too
really
good for
that's
this
like
show.
life, isn't it, Michael?
He's half American and he's half German. Yeah, that's the song.
That
Yep.
That's it.
Cool.
That's it.
Good story.
I mean, is Dee Dee like trying to wrestle with his bicultural immigrant identity?
Who needs
or...
23andMe?
Yeah, just 50% and 50%. That's why 50% of the song I am badly rapping in German, and the other 50% I'm badly rapping in English.
Is he
Or
wrestling
his
with his cultural? What would you say?
His bicultural identity.
No, I don't think he wrestles with anything on this song.
Well,
I don't think he
he
wrestles
does
with anything on
wrestle-
the wrestling song.
Yeah, no,
He doesn't
just
even wrestle
runs
anything in
away.
the
I know. He just rhymes like skin with Berlin. I don't know. I do know it's dumb.
It's dumb and bad.
Spoiler alert. All right.
It's dumb and
It's
bad.
also dumb
Folks,
and
if you can't figure it out from the clips,
These
it
are-
is dumb and bad.
Okay, so let's go on to the next one then, shall we? Anybody?
No, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
We're all more than
I've been all over the world. There's nothing like a Brooklyn girl. They come in all shapes and all sizes, and they are the most priceless chicks on the planet Earth. And for what it's worth, I wouldn't trade a Brooklyn babe for all the money Rockefeller made. She's bad, she's not afraid. I go crazy over Brooklyn babe.
Rockefeller made.
It's like Rockefeller bid. Like he's almost getting into like Tommy
he's
Chong territory.
Smearing
sometimes.
peanut butter on the top of his mouth as he's delivering the lyrics.
Dave's not here, man.
He had to do it on his lunch break. Just like halfway through a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh,
He must have been
man.
smearing it on with all those Arizona iced teas.
He needs a metronome. Somebody get him a metronome.
Someone get him just a dictionary.
Yeah. Oh, God. Anything.
Thesaurus.
Not even a rhyming dictionary. Yeah, a thesaurus would be good.
A thesaurus. Yeah. I
Someone
mean,
get him the Elements of Style By E.B. White. That's by E.B. White, right? Strunk and White. Strump? Who cares?
We'll cut it.
Keep it in, God damn it.
There's like all these like kiss the girl, like weird, like Sebastian-esque, like whoa, whoa, like doo-wop lines in this Brooklyn baby, whoa, whoa. He also says priceless chicks at one point during this song.
Is this song about Baby Doll?
Well, it says a killer on the dance floor, skin-tight jeans, and at 14, she was seeing a Marine.
It sounds like a bad situation.
Don't underestimate her. She's hot as a pepper? That is the what? What's most offensive?
Definitely Baby Doll.
Definitely, yeah,
Definitely
baby doll. Don't underestimate her. Just marry her.
Mm-hmm.
That poor little rich girl.
He says that she was dating
Also-
a Marine at 14, but that also that she doesn't go steady because she's not ready.
Oh.
So,
But at 16, she's ready to go. She's fine. It's 16,
so
now
she
we're
just
good.
loves him and leaves him.
He also, I don't know, I was like trying to find the lyrics for this, and it goes, baby, baby, you're an angel. You're such a, and then it's S***Y. Is it a slutty angel? A shitty angel?
I think it's got to be Slutty Angel, right?
Wait, does he say that? Or is this just a really weird transcription?
I don't know. I didn't,
I definitely brought the cringe for y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't underestimate her. She's hot as a pepper. Okay. I know the most offensive part of this is the fact that he's objectifying a 14-year-old, but also
I think she's
rhyming
grown at this point in the
underestimate her with hot as a pepper.
Yeah, that's right.
That's also
right.
very bad. I'm not gonna say it's as bad as pedophilia, but
I think she's grown at this point. In the
okay,
narrative.
all right, R. Kelly.
Oh, Jesus! Whoa, hey,
Sorry,
please don't take
guys.
my music
This is
off
bad.
of Spotify.
Yeah, this is bad. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, no.
Next song, roll it.
Next.
Your wife's at the Ritz with another guy. She's been drinking, we think she's pretty high. We're all scared to death and we don't know what to do. We thought we'd better get a hold of you. Emergency, calling Mr. D.
You know what I said next song? You know what I said next song? I meant hit back twice.
Yeah, every time it's one step forward, it's several steps back here on this album and on Make It Stop in general.
We weren't kidding when we said it gets worse from here every song.
It's gotten dark.
Yeah, this is
He's trying
really
to get
fucked
clean,
up.
and his wife's off at the Ritz, banging some other dude, getting shit-faced. He has to go in and get her and pay her bill.
Yeah, and then they're calling Dee Dee, saying emergency,
Come get your girl.
Come get your girl, in the hospital, because she's, all fucked up, and, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Now listen, baby doll, you've been busted. So, again, baby doll, so we know who he's talking about here. It's gotta be this wife.
It's definitely about Baby Doll. And
I should have known that you can't be trusted. That ain't your uncle, and that ain't soda pop. I'm just about to blow my top.
I'm just about to blow my top.
To blow my top.
She's just chilling.
Yeah, it's my
I don't
uncle.
know.
It's my uncle. This is how
And
I say hello to my uncle.
She's the one who said, you got to clean up your act if we're going to have a kid.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah,
According
that's
to
well,
the song
seems
Baby
like
Doll.
they might have been doomed from the start.
sounds pretty doomed.
Sounds pretty doomed to me. Just like this song and this album, it's a promising riff, and then and we're doomed. And immediately it shows. I said, yeah, thank God, a promising riff. I am ready for anything else than those last three songs. And then, oh no, that shows me for having hope. I also a big part of this song is emergency, calling Mr. Dee Dee, pick up the phone. Why would you call Mr. Dee Dee? Does Dee Dee seem like he's prepared to handle an emergency situation?
I mean,
It's
like,
Mr. King. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like
excuse me, I can't come. I'm busy rapping.
emergency, Dee Dee. You have made a rap album. We need to end this. Let's pull the plug.
But this definitely does not sound like a healthy environment for a recovering addict.
I would say not at all. Yep, Dee Dee, come emergency. Your wife's cheating on you and getting wasted and high at the Ritz. But
with another guy.
Why? Again, Dee Dee Ramone, last person I would call in an emergency. What is he gonna do? Like, just bust out some, like, riffs and arthritic, like, sleepwalk rap? Like, what is he? Hello, everybody, and I'm here to...
All right, also just looking at the song from the Art of Telling a Story... it's never established who is calling him.
Yeah, what?
Who at the Ritz has tracked down Dee Dee's wife?
Yeah.
Has his number ready to go. This is, I'm not buying it.
No, we certainly didn't buy this album, but sorry, ASCAP. You can suck my ass cap. Emergency. See, I could be a writer for this album. We're ready.
So yeah, they got divorced a year later.
Yeah, they did.
Or they separated a year later. They got divorced a little bit after that.
Turns out wasn't her uncle. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, but he writes like it's kind of this song is like a similar story to the surfing one because like he doesn't go and like he goes and pays her bill and gets her out of there and he's like, I forgive you.
Oh, that's tragic.
Oh yeah, I forgive you. I will. Get your coat while I pay your bill.
Oh, that's codependency.
Codependency.
Pick up the phone. God, I would have. Yeah. I have like so few witticisms because like honestly like I mean he didn't try. Why do I have to?
Well, it's also we should say this is the end of the story of Baby Doll on this album. The next two songs I would consider bonus tracks.
Again, we need to really examine our use of the word bonus in this context because that is not at all what this means. Bonus is a free toy inside, okay, when you're not expecting it.
It's not... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say comedic relief, but that wouldn't give it too much credit.
Yeah, no. No credit allowed.
Well, if I, for one, after the heavy subject matter of the dissolution of this lovely marriage,
this lovely
marriage. I'm ready to just kick back and relax and enjoy the crusher.
I pronounce the crusher.
All right. Cheering for Dee Dee King. Got the hardest hold, you can put it in one. You're my victim, you're beaten. I'm a lean, mean, fight machine. Powerful and strong like King. Come on.
That's great.
Yeah,
can we just listen to that again? The crusher.
King of the ring.
I'm a crusher.
King of the ring.
I guess I'm always down for a wrestling song on Make It Stop. I'm always down for a wrestling
tangent. Yep. Oh,
tangent
I
that you're
can
going
sense
to
one
ultimately
coming
cut
on.
out of the show.
Yep. The crusher. What I think we have said before in reference to this song, and also I forget the other one with the mermaid, the surfing mermaid, is that he builds up to this like big, riff-filled, pretty badass fucking chorus, but the action of the story never goes anywhere.
No, he
doesn't crush anything. Yeah, he leaves. Doesn't he like peace out?
Yeah,
like
he says, here's the lyrics. Started having second thoughts. I was scared as hell. The last thing I wanted was me hearing the bell. I mean, the Russian bear could probably tear me limb from limb. He'd probably grin, be real happy with himself. This is not good for my health. I'm not coming out of this dressing room and get beaten up by that goon.
Wait.
He doesn't do the fight in the
so
end.
then he leaves?
Just like he fucking
Listen.
gets stuck by the jelly bean and quits surfing.
Oh my god, a jelly
he can't
bean.
see through anything. He couldn't even do 10 rap songs on this album.
No,
he had to do fucking Baby Doll.
Couldn't even. Oh man. Also, like, I like that, you know, Dee Dee, I'm glad that you learned in rehab, like, that boundaries are important, but it makes for a very boring fucking album. It's like, and then I met a mermaid, but then she ran away the end. Like, this is, go back to Russia. I don't want to fight you. The end. The crash. Also,
That's not
he
how
doesn't
wrestling
even,
works.
Also, he doesn't even rhyme Russia with crash, which is a missed opportunity. Also, he sounds like Nick Kroll in Too Much Tuna. Like his like Brooklyn accent's really coming out when he goes crash. I don't know.
Like he's bragging in the beginning about he's got the hardest hold you can put on anyone. He's a lean, mean fighting machine. He's like King Kong, and then he's just like,
maybe that's where he got his name, Dee Dee King. Wow.
Or probably from BB King.
You know what?
Did you not think of that before?
He didn't think of things. I don't have to think of things.
Oh yeah, I'll just be Dee Dee King.
care,
That's this
I don't-
other guy's name plus my name.
Okay, don't want to get a broken bone or a lump on my head, but also ain't gonna hide under the bed. So then, what are you doing? Are you just
he
kinda,
doesn't wrap it up.
He doesn't,
He
and then that's
resolves
the
to
end.
fight at the end, but he doesn't do the fight.
But no, he just says, I'm the Crusher, King of the Ring. There you go. Well, I guess that's all I need to do in my life from now on. I can just be like, I do this thing now, even though I didn't do it, and I'm just going to repeat it over and over again. The end.
This was actually one of my like first like Ramone songs when I was like a kid.
Oh yeah, because
Wow.
Ramones did this
Yeah.
song on a later, like as a full band, right?
Yeah, I had those like little greatest hits, and it was like one of the last tracks, like almost hidden on the greatest hits compilation. So when this came on, I was like, yes, nostalgia. I got so into it.
Yeah, no, I love the like old, you know, swaggery wrestling themed punk. My like dad was in a wrestling themed punk band called the Mighty Ions, and
That's
like
a thing?
that is a thing.
God.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
I already want to start that band.
Yeah, they had a song called like The Claw. They had a song
Oh
called
my God.
Pedro Morales.
Didn't they have that
and
song,
God.
George the Animal,
Mo-
George the
yeah.
Animal?
Call him no, they call him George the Animal Still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And yeah.
That's fantastic.
And they call him Pedro Morales. They call him Pedro Morales. They love, yeah. It's
That's
this is
tight.
why I am who I am.
Well, your dad's version of it was definitely better than Dee Dee Ramone's.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is that like even
This is-
like if you're taking this purely as a novelty, there's so much better novelty out there. You know what I mean? Like it's just not even it's not worth it. It's like kicking him when he's down, but like I need to get some satisfaction out of this album. Like I don't know what else to do.
I mean, based on the way the song goes, like I don't even know if he sounds like he barely watches any wrestling. I wonder
Right,
what
just like he's never listened to hip hop before.
what does he do less of?
Yeah, I don't know, man. What the fuck? He's the level of just misplaced confidence. It just, I mean, clearly
But
it
I
was.
don't know. It's also a lot of misplaced lack of confidence.
Well,
He keeps-
maybe appropriately placed.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess he's just keeping it real.
Yeah, I don't
He is
know.
the-
A lot of us have
is the
lived
master of
lives where
rap
we're like,
after
I
all.
was gonna go out and do this thing, but I stayed home and watched Netflix instead. Like, I guess we could make an album like that. That'd be called Keeping It Real.
That
but
might be-
doesn't mean that anyone wants to listen to it.
That might be kind of groundbreaking.
Would it be?
That's gonna be my next concept album.
The beats have to be like freaking epic.
All right. Shall we move on to the ultimate track on this album? Pretty straightforward. Just calls it like he sees it. I want when I want it.
You won't make it to the Hall of Fame if those lyrics you write are considered lame. The cut creator, the master of rap. When I strut down the street, homeboys tip the hat. They stand there amazed, they say there he is, the #1 rapper in all the showbiz. The funky man is here to stay. He blows those other rappers away.
I think that's the first time I heard a drum machine this whole album.
He sounds like Yogi Bear in this song.
No, I was saying he sounded like fucking Huckleberry Hound. Hello.
Or like Barney Rubble. Like, it's probably the same voice
actually,
actor for all
that's the
those
same voice
characters.
actor, I
It's all
guess.
He sounds like any number of Hanna-Barbera characters.
Oh, man. Ugh. Also, this is the song where he moves from not only am I gonna do the laziest, like poorest, like pathetic imitation of like what I think hip hop is, because I don't give a shit enough to even do the most rudimentary research on what it could possibly be. But then he's lecturing people about not being good rappers.
I know. It's the folly of so many bad white rappers to do this.
Oh man,
Hestaprin did it. What's his name? Lil Dicky does it.
Ugh, gross. Like, Dee Dee Ramone is trying to lecture people about being copycats. Like, you're not original. You won't make it into the Hall of Fame. Like,
No one's done what Dee Dee King has done, and for good reason.
yeah, hip hop was actually invented by Dee Dee Ramone, by the way. I don't know if everyone knew this, but everyone else has been copying him.
You won't make it to the Hall of Fame if those rhymes you write are considered lame.
You won't even.
I agree.
Except you did make it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Dee Dee.
Not the hip hop Hall
Not
of
the
Fame.
hip-hop Hall of
Oh,
Fame.
most certainly not. Most certainly. You can have, yeah, you got what you deserved. That's it. Also, the whole thing, like the premise of the song, I want what I want when I want it. I can't argue with that. At least he's up front. But what does he want? Because he actually
He wants heroin.
Oh, yeah. Yikes.
Right? He wants to go around the block from the studio.
Oh,
and
no.
get some of that Chinese rock.
Oh, it probably would have made a better album. Probably not. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know about that. He just...
It's just is not. It's not. It's just not for you, Dee Dee. I'm sorry.
No.
The Ramones. That's something special.
Yeah. Lightning doesn't always strike twice.
Yeah.
Dee Dee King.
But you did your best, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the best.
Did you though?
Did you though?
Did you though?
Did anybody do their best in the production of this? I think if somebody had done their best, this wouldn't have happened. So
Someone should have done their job and said no. To
and
Dee Dee.
said no. Said, Dee Dee, why don't we take up another hobby? How about like unicycling or, I don't know, anything else? Let's go get a thrill. Let's go, bungee jump. But don't do this.
Pump the brakes on standing in the spotlight, please,
Ooh,
buddy.
yeah.
Also, what's the significance of standing in the spotlight?
That's a great question. No idea. How many people? Also, I just want to know how many people bought this.
Is it because he's stepped away from the Ramones and now the spotlight is solely on him?
Oh, that's it, I guess.
Well,
we figured it out.
He definitely got the cane, the giant novelty cane coming from stage left to pull him off after they turn the spotlight.
The album is sometimes considered to be one of the biggest failures in recording history. So
that's straight from the Wikipedia page, right?
Yeah. So I'm wondering.
So you know it's real.
Yeah, that's how you know.
Citation provided.
Citation provided. Anyway.
Well, yeah. So that's what they say.
Right.
What do we say?
That's a good question.
Because we've listened to a lot of bad
my
albums.
brain has become mashed potato time.
How does this make you feel when
I mean-
compared to a Speeding Bullet to Heaven, or when compared to a Northern State, or Eminem, and any of the other we've done a lot of rap albums on this show. And
I
we've
would
done quite a few
say-
of like rap mixed with rock.
Yes, I would say that I had to think the least on this album.
Yes.
Out
Even
of
less than
almost-
Hulk Rules.
Yeah, I would say this is the similar kind of intellectual sort of caliber as Hulk rules. Very straightforward. Today I did the thing, then I did the stuff. And this, and after that, I had a beer. The, this,
honey cunt.
Heine con. So yeah, I mean, comparatively, it's so dumb that it almost becomes a non-entity. Like it's just a film that starts to accumulate on the outside of my body, and
you can just sort of let
I'm
it
just
wash
glazing
over.
over. Like I don't, yeah.
And
so
hope to get a suntan.
It's terrible. I mean, as a therapeutic album for Dee Dee Ramone after getting out of rehab, I can't imagine that this actually made him feel any better. I mean, if you think about it, this was released and then like widely reviled and mocked, and then this wasn't good for anybody.
He started playing rock again after this as a solo artist. So
yeah.
maybe this is just something he needed to get out of his system, I think. Which
right. And now it's in our system, and it's
like
toxic,
when you take
and it's infection.
I need a cleanse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm infected with this album, and it's. What do you think, Hayley? How do you feel? How we doing?
I almost want to apologize.
We're listening. I mean, we all know what we're getting into on this show. Our stoppies know. We know.
It's the life we've chosen.
It's the life we've chosen. It hit a lot of the marks of the hallmarks of a terrible album. The obviously the 80s as a whole, drug addiction, white people who have never been told no. Really awful cultural appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
These tend to be recurring themes in our songs. So or in our album. So I think you picked.
An appropriate,
a grand slam.
Appropriate for the show.
Oh yeah, grand slam, knocked it out of the park.
Only the best for y'all.
But
Or actually only the worst.
Yeah, only the
The
worst.
best of the worst.
Simply the worst. That's it. That's where we're at. So have we learned anything? Do we want to rate the album?
I think I learned less.
Yeah. I'm coming out of this stupider than I came in.
Dumber.
So Hayley, as our guest, you get to choose our quantifier for this album. We're going to rate it on a scale of 0 to -5, -5 being the worst, 0 being true neutral. It can be like for our Kiss episode, we had Gene Simmons facelifts. That was the quantifier that we used. We've had jazzy harmonica solos from Bruce Willis's album. Lines of cocaine, I'm sure, along the way. That was probably the Eddie Murphy
I give
album.
this -4 bass strings. Because that's what this whole album was.
Oh, yep. Could have used some more bass strings. Okay, so why have you given it a -4?
For the sake of that joke. No, I would give this a -6. Oversized chains.
Oh,
that
yep.
should not be on him.
Oh, that's a lot of chains. What about you, Michael?
Am I rating it in oversized chains, or am I rating it in bass strings? Because I'd have wildly different scores depending.
You pick.
I'm gonna give this a -2 bass strings. They've become like that band, the Presidents of the United States of America, who used to play with only 2 bass strings. But no, this album is bad. It's definitely not
bad.
good, and it's bad. But I did like 2 songs on it. I liked the Baby Doll song, and I liked the one.
You liked the Baby Doll song? That's what you're going to leave our
sweet.
listeners
I thought it
with?
sounded like Jonathan era Jonathan Richman. Like I said, I'm being consistent. And I like Poor Little Rich Girl, too. The 2 songs where he doesn't rap are pretty nice. And, I would have liked to have heard 8 more of those. The 8 rap songs...
Then it would have just been a mediocre album as opposed to an actively terrible one.
The 8 rap songs are terrible rap songs, but they're not the bottom 8 rap songs I've heard on this show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I will take this over...
Northern State? Oh, yeah, any day.
I will take this over... the new Eminem album.
Yep.
But Mashed Potato Time is so laughably bad. I actually enjoy it.
There's definitely a level of perverse pleasure.
It's dumb fun at times, but it's like,
But it has that twinge of sadness. Not just a twinge.
It's like dumb fun, like, going punch for punch or something. Like, you are hurting yourself by, like, going through with it, but it is, there's a little thrill. But yeah, I don't know. -2. Do I like this better than The Return of Bruno? I like him about the same. It's a negative Bruno, -2.
Is that what we rated negative Bruno? Is that what we rated Bruno? Was a
That's what I rated Bruno.
All right. So listen, this album's sad. I think the element of dumb fun gets quickly overshadowed by the desperation and the clear disintegration of his primary relationships and the fact that Debbie Harry sounds like she's taken hostage, and it's just being forced to sing along,
contractually held by hostage.
Yeah. I think I just wish he had done a different thing, or just not done this thing, and the fact that we had to listen to this thing and talk about this thing has actively made me a stupider person, a less moral person. I'll
It makes
give
me want to drink 5 Arizona iced teas.
And eat mashed potatoes for dinner. That's my dinner tonight.
I am
Arizona
mashed
iced tea and
potatoes.
mashed potatoes.
I am mashed potatoes. I give it a negative.
Mashed potato.
-2.5 for the sadness and the uncomfortable feeling it gives me in my intestines.
Yeah.
Just that that tangy pinch of your nerves that when you're vicariously embarrassed by somebody else's behavior.
Yeah, I feel that a lot on this album.
On the show in general.
It's a lot of oh no.
Oh no.
Dee Dee.
Oh
What
no.
are you doing?
No, Dee Dee.
No, Dee Dee.
No, Dee Dee. No.
No.
Please.
All right. Well, we have to thank our guest for, I guess. No, I'm just kidding. Whose fault this all was. Thanks a lot. No, we are so happy to have had her here. Hayley Valencia of WIMP. Can you tell us all about your band and where we can see WIMP and get more information on anything that's coming up that you want to plug?
All right. Well, WIMP is a 3-piece all-trans hardcore band. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So if you want some fuck the cis music, we're very angry. Very kind people, but very angry. But you can check our stuff out.
We'll cut you. But
no, we'll kick you with a spiked
kindness. Cut you with kindness. That actually would be a great tagline.
Is that the name of your AFI cover band?
So what's going on with WIMP? Where can we see WIMP next in the world?
Oh God, I'm the bassist. They never tell me when the next gig is.
You just they just kidnap you the day of. They're like, all right, get in the van.
Yeah, they just tell me where to bring the amps.
Yeah, that's
no, but
fair.
our Bandcamp is WIMP for WIMP, FOR.bandcamp.com, so you can check us out there.
Yeah,
All right.
Awesome. We love WIMP. I know we're playing Sheer Queer Fest in September.
Yes.
So WIMP is playing and Blow will be performing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Janelle, your beautiful
Shouts
wife.
out to my wife.
Your beautiful wife Valentine from the Boston League of Wicked Wrestlers. We gotta get her on the show. What do you think
Yeah,
she
right?
would? What do you think she would want to make fun of?
Oh my God, so many things.
All right. Well, we'll discuss that off mic. Thank you, Stoppies, for listening. Once again, we will have a new episode coming out in 2 weeks, and that is going to be with Katie McCarthy. And we're going to be
listening to Chuggo.
to Chuggo.
Yeah. If you do not know Chuggo, prepare yourself.
Prepare yourself.
get on YouTube and just
Chuggo's gonna be like
Just
really
YouTube
confused
Chuggo.
about
pick any of them.
spontaneous spike in YouTube inquiries.
Will he, or is he
the
currently
13 people that
incarcerated?
listen. Yeah, well, we'll find out. So, and then we're gonna be doing a jam band episode with our friend. Yeah, it's really bad. We really don't want to do it, but we're doing that with our friend Mitch Williams, aka Mitchy D.
Oh my god, every song is going to be like 25 minutes long, and you're going to have to
It's
listen
gonna
to
be the worst.
albums of that. I'm so glad to not be a part of that.
Yeah, why are we doing this again, actually? Don't we
I
make
asked
the
myself
rules?
that question.
Don't we
a
make
lot.
the rules? We don't make the rules anymore. The stoppies rule our lives. All right. Well,
Write us a 5-paragraph essay on Hinder.
Please,
Send us
Stoppy.
a PowerPoint presentation on Graffiti Bridge.
Please do.
And
And listen
like
to
us-
WIMP and like us on all the things on iTunes and
follow
Google
us
Play
on
and
Twitter.
Stitcher. Follow us on Twitter. We paid for some follows, guys.
You don't say.
Actually, I didn't pay, but like I don't know, maybe
There's a lot of like models with Lincoln profile.
yeah. We don't know who they are. I'm sorry, Stoppies. We've sold out. We pay to play. God, I'm gonna make it big in this podcast industry. All right. Good night, Stoppies. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.
I like to drive my Mercedes. I like to impress the ladies.
I'm pretty sure that he refers to all ladies as chicks. So let's try that one over again. I love to impress the chicks. I'm Dee Dee Ramone, and I got a dick. The end, everybody. That's all we have.
I knew you were going in that direction.
That was. I mean, what else? What else are you gonna do? There we are. Here we are.
You gotta make it big, gotta take your shot. Here we are now on Make It Stop.
Yep.
Hot freestyle.
Hot freestyle coming at you live from the Make It Stop remote studio here at the Somerville Media Center in my office in the back room where we belong.
In the lab.
In the lab. We're cooking up something
Grinding.
new for you. Grinding. Out here grinding. It's another week of the show Make It Stop that we host. I'm one of the hosts. I'm Heather Mack.
I'm Mike Dunn.
And we do this thing where we listen to the worst albums of all time and we review them song by song.
Y'all know this.
You
Y'all
don't
know,
have to.
You know what we forgot
I
to
was
say,
trying.
Heather?
Yeah, well, I was trying to do a roundabout way of us doing the tagline,
Well,
which
I'm calling
is
you out for being too slow on the draw.
come on, come on, one step at a time.
All right.
Bad music, good times. There you go. That's our tagline.
There we go.
So we are here today with a very, very, very special friend of ours. You know her from the band WIMP. All caps lock, so you have to say it like that.
WIMP!
WIMP! And also, she's going to be in my AFI cover band with me. So
I still need to get the jazz bass for that.
Are you calling your AFI cover band Murderous Filigree?
oh my God, stop it. No, that's my new burlesque name. It's
We need to call it Rolling Balls.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I was thinking gay FI, but I mean, maybe that's too
That's
obvious.
actually, I like that one.
So I forgot to actually introduce her. Her name is Hayley
Yo, what's
Valencia.
up?
She's
I'm
here. She's Hayley. She's Hayley.
Now you know who I am.
Now that we know, let's say it again. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm giving too much of a cadence there. We need to slow it down, and we need just an arthritic, just staccato, with several too many syllables, and that would replicate a good 50% of the songs on the album that we're going to be reviewing today.
Her name is Hayley. I have to take a pee.
Yeah, And they just kept it in. That's how I feel about so many of the lines on this album. It was just kind of like, okay, here we are, and I'm saying a thing, and I just keep going. I guess that's the take. Like,
yeah, a lot of them don't rhyme. So wait, have we said what we're doing?
Okay, no, we haven't. And honestly, it could be a lot of bad things. We've listened to a lot of bad music on this show, and hey, this one's no different. We're not throwing any curveballs to you. This was actually, Hayley, it was your fucking idea, God damn it, to do this album. So why don't you introduce it? You tell us what we're going to be experiencing.
We are going to do a deep dive exploration of the failed hip-hop career of Dee Dee Ramone, Dee Dee King's Standing in the Spotlight.
Yes, that's correct.
The one and only Dee Dee King album.
Yep, that's it.
Came and went.
He was like, well, I got this great idea.
It was one too many.
As fleeting as a heroin.
Ooh, sobriety.
Yeah, as fleeting as any of his forays into sobriety.
Yeah, the jury is out the door on whether or not if he was sober enough when he made the decision, hey, let's make a rap album.
I mean, so I guess I've never struggled with a serious harrowing addiction to like a, opiate or anything like that. So I really can't comment. But like, would this be like, if you're like newly sober and like, you know what, everything's a great idea. You know what I mean? Like, do you get that? Like, do you get high on life or something? Or was it just that everybody was like way too afraid to like, like say, sorry, dude, like this really isn't working out. It's like, at least you got a positive outlet, Dee Dee King, I suppose. I
read a couple articles about it, and it seems like the deal was like, things were kind of falling apart with the Ramones. And Dee Dee can't sing.
Well, it's amazing how far he went in his career without ever developing a glottal stop, which is like the ability to make sounds in the back of your throat. It's a little linguistics term for you.
Nice.
Just dropping in that.
Someone took that class.
I did. No, it's what separates us from babies and like primates is like that glottal stop where you can actually like make a sound.
So he
can't.
Basically an infant.
Yep.
But no, he can't sing, and he had gotten really into rap. He had started coming to Ramones shows in full rap regalia, which Joey hated. Like he would come.
Oh my god!
And this was when full rap regalia meant like, a
giant chain and the fucking Kangol hat and
no,
stuff.
not the Kangol hat, like the hats they're all wearing on the cover of the album, like the Run DMC fedoras.
Yeah.
I love the album art of this. He looks like me looking in the mirror when I'm having a good day. He's just like the look back, like with the blunt in his mouth. He's like, "What's up?" to myself.
Yeah, I mean, this was his album being like, all right, I need something to do.
Yeah,
I'm out of rehab.
Busy.
Yeah, I can't do crochet. So he decided I'm gonna reinvent myself as a rap artist, like in the most half-assed, totally lazy, phoned-in way possible. Maybe just like crochet or something, dude. Maybe do some like fucking collage work. You don't have to be a rapper to keep your hands busy. Dee Dee.
All I know the story is the reason why he got into it is because he went to the hospital and then someone there, he was checking in. His actual name is Dougie. So someone was like, "Oh, Dougie? Like Dougie Fresh?" Then Dee Dee was just...
That's it? That's it?
That's it. And he was like...
That's the story.
"Who is Dougie Fresh?" "He's a rapper." "What's rap?" And then someone explained rap to him in the hospital, and then he left the hospital thinking he could be a rapper.
Oh my god, so he had a religious experience.
He learned about what rap is in the throes of detox, and this is what came from that.
Oh no. Well, friends and country people out there, it's just as bad as what we have just described, as what you would imagine it would be. It is mercifully at least only 10 tracks and about 30 minutes long. That's kind of the Ramones' MO, was like wham bam, kind of bang out a song in like less than 2 minutes. Unfortunately, this album has several songs that go on way over 2 minutes. A couple. It's too much. So Dee Dee created this persona of Dee Dee King. Didn't even really think much beyond like I'm MC Dee Dee. No, Dee Dee King. He had recorded, as you guys had said, the Funky Man as Dee Dee King in 1987. And Hayley, you were saying that was your favorite.
That's my favorite Dee Dee King track, and it's not even on this album.
What?
So it's all the worst parts.
Great.
Yeah, that better?
Oh, yeah, there we
all
go.
right, cool.
There we go. That's nice. Music critic Matt Carlson. I mean, who's this guy? I don't know. But
It's Matt Carlson. What do you mean?
Oh, my boy.
No, I don't know
Matt
who he
Carlson wrote that the album, quote, will go down in the annals. No, I don't know.
The banals of history?
The banals of the annals. How do I pronounce it?
Annals.
Annals of pop culture as one of the worst recordings of all time. Now, there's a lot of albums on this show that, have that moniker. We were just saying that one of the last ones we reviewed, the Kid Cudi Speed and Bullet to Heaven, is one of the lowest rated albums on our list.
Right. It's the lowest of all, because we give our scores at the end of the show, and I did the math on all the episodes.
Wait, really?
Yeah. And we gave
This
Speed
is
and Bullet
amazing.
to Heaven the lowest score of any of the albums we've done, other than Broken Side.
Oh.
Which is beyond the
and
the
compared
scale.
to the public perception of it, was it also similarly derided by, in the Rate Your Music score? I thought that's what you were referring to.
It's
in
in the bottom 30.
Does
of
this
Rate Your
album
Music.
make it up there? Because I didn't even know about this, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that Dee Dee and everybody else involved with this, which includes Debbie Harry of Blondie, that they kind of didn't want anybody to know about it and promptly distance themselves from it. But how did you find out about this album, Hayley? What is your story?
Oh my God, I was drinking with one of my friends, Evan, from Hospital Beds. And
Oh, I know Evan.
yeah, he's a good dude. I was working with him at the time, and we were talking about the Ramones, and he was like, hey, I have something hilarious to show you. And he just put it on. And I was totally mind blown. At the time, I was working at this coffee shop, and I just, because I hated everyone there, except I loved everyone there, but I hated the people running it, just to piss all those people off. They just pick the music, so I put on that album once.
Yes.
And
I just it warms my heart to think that somebody somewhere is doing that with WIMP in a coffee shop right now.
and the drummer of WIMP was working there too, so we were both blasting it. And then a couple of my friends who were there, Ramones is one of their favorite bands. It's Ramones, Beatles are their two favorites. They heard that album and they loved it. Not even because it was terrible. They just legitimately loved it and started playing it at the coffee shop all the time. Just imagine 7 a.m. You're trying to get a latte. Mashed potato time is on.
I mean, honestly, all times are mashed potato time, so it would be accurate at all times of day. I'd be thrilled at 7:30. You know what? It is mashed potato time.
We don't even serve
potatoes. Now that you mention it, when was the last time I ingested mashed potatoes?
Well, you've been on the low carb
potatoes now.
thing.
Yeah, well, I'm not literally talking about that. It was a joke. Yeah, I mean, so what else do we need to say about this album? Let's think about this. Yeah, we already mentioned that Dee Dee, lead singer of the Ramones, who shouldn't really have been the lead singer because again,
He wasn't lead singer of the Ramones.
singer.
He's a bass player.
Bass player who sang though.
Joey.
a
Bass
lot at the
players
beginning.
always think
No,
they're
I'm
lead
saying that
singer.
Joey sang, but also he sang a bunch of them too because
Yeah, he sang. He was also the principal songwriter of the Ramones.
Yeah, okay, that's what I meant. So anyway, he sang poorly, but also wrote the songs.
He had a good ear for melodies and hooks.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
wrote Rockaway Beach. He wrote Chinese Rock.
Yeah. Other songs with rock in the title. Rock
They're
and roll,
either
rock
about
and
the
roll high
beach
school.
or they're about heroin.
Yeah, well, so that was the thing, is he had been kind of ebbing and flowing, so to speak, on his sobriety and trying to figure out what to do with his life after getting out of rehab, and decided that this was the move to make. Time to rap about mashed potatoes with Debbie Harry.
So I think he's referring to doing the mashed potato, which was a popular move in the 50s.
We'll discuss it when we get into that song, which is the first song.
The first song. But the whole thing, it's weird that he chose to mash up his stilted conception of rap with 50s doo-wop and like
like
rock
surf
and roll
rock
music.
and
And I feel like all the hip hop kids who are like, this was, intended to be marketed to,
Ooh.
just went all over their heads. They're like, what
Yeah.
is the mashed potato? Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about
it's
the
not.
food.
Over their heads implies that this is some sort of highbrow fucking like humor. No.
I don't think there's any
It went so
references they
under
didn't
their
catch.
heads.
Yeah, this is that's on. Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. It's like a kiddie pool when you're trying to go surfing. surfing. Yeah, there's a lot of it. It is definitely an album in need of it's an identity crisis of an album for a lot of reasons. And you'll hear it. Not the least of which being the fact that there's like 17 different poorly imitated genres represented on this album. But should we get into it? Is there anything else contextually that we need to know about Dee Dee Ramone, 1989, standing in the spotlight. So let's get on into it, I guess.
I think it's mashed potato time.
Oh, now that you mention it, it might be mashed potato time. Hold on one sec.